That swine, that traitor Prince Harry emerged victorious overnight in Washington, D.C. His goofy grin not covering up an alarmingly bald hairline, those the words he used about his brother Prince William, as he celebrated pulling one over his father King Charles, a weak monarch battling terminal cancer who has now allowed the real cancer that risks destroying our royal family back into the United Kingdom. And trust me, as the man who broke the news of Megxit in the first place 6.5 years ago, this is just the start of a horror return. Harry will not rest until he is back performing royal duties, and we, the British taxpayers, are foolishly going to end up paying for his security. His father and a desperately pathetic leftist Labour government, so out of touch with how Brits really feel about this, have let it happen with a long-term project called Operation Thor. But Harry is lying. Meghan is lying. We must not forget they hate us. And I'm not exaggerating. They hate us for voting for Brexit, which they think makes us racist. They hate us for loving Prince William and Princess Catherine, the biggest victims in all of this. And it was never meant to be this way. Meghan Markle once told that weird little guy, Omid Scobie, that she would never step foot in Britain again. And we all remember the famous Freedom Flight.
It's 6 a.m. on the 14th of March, and we are on the Freedom Flight. We are leaving Canada, and we are headed to Los Angeles.
Grandma's here.
Hey, Grandma.
Prudence here, with a ball in her mouth.
So busy with the current situation, thanks to another amazing friend who we've never met, but who believes in us and wants to help.
Today, People magazine, the Daily Telegraph and the Sun newspaper are assuring us that Harry, lovely Harry, just wants to be close to his beloved relatives. But I won't just let the MSM rewrite history about this vile guy and about how vile he has been in regards to the family he claims to now care about. So do you remember when King Charles and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, had just had those terrible cancer diagnoses, and he went on American television to make clear that he no longer even considered them his real family? Watch.
Just physically being in California, how have you processed the fact that there's so much happening back with your family where you come from?
I have my own family,
right?
So as we all do,
yeah.
Right? So, my family and my life in California is as it is.
Scumbag. He doesn't give a damn about anyone here. Then just last year, he claimed there was no logistical way for him to return to the UK because of what some people in this country had done.
I can't see a world in which I would be bringing my wife and children back to the UK at this point. And the things that they're going to miss is, well, everything. I love my country. I always have done, despite what some people in that country have done. So I miss the UK. I miss parts of the UK, of course I do. And I think that it's really quite sad that I won't be able to show, my children my homeland.
It's amazing what running out of money does. Because at 10 p.m. UK time, 5 p.m. Eastern time, the bombshell reversal of Megxit was confirmed, sending shockwaves across the world. 2,416 days since I broke this front page, revealing Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were to Megxit the most unhappy royal homecoming in history. Yes, they are on their way back, folks.
Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry and Meghan, are planning to move back to the UK. Reports in a couple of the papers say they're going to return to the UK as soon as this month, with their children being enrolled in schools here in September.
We're following some breaking news today as Prince Harry intends to return with his family to the United Kingdom, British media report. This major development in the saga of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
Harry and Meghan are moving back to the UK. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex will be relocating from California with their 2 children. Buckingham Palace confirms they'll continue living as private citizens.
Let's get more on that huge royal news this morning with reports that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are moving back to the UK.
This has
blown your mind today.
Absolutely has.
Tonight, a royal bombshell nobody saw coming. The Telegraph newspaper reporting that 6 years after they stepped down as working royals, Prince Harry and his wife Meghan are moving back to the UK.
Let's get more on our breaking news. Harry and Meghan are moving back to the UK 6 years after quitting royal life and escaping to California.
And within moments, the couple had confirmed the news on the record directly to the British Fashion Corporation, proving that this was a coordinated PR move.
Now, in the past few minutes, the Daily Telegraph newspaper has reported that Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, plan to move back to the UK. Joining me now is our senior royal correspondent, Daniela Ralph. This is quite a surprise, isn't it?
Yes, it's a huge surprise, Rita. The Daily Telegraph reporting that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, that their two children, Archie and Libet, will be moving back to the UK in the weeks ahead. In the past few minutes, I've spoken to a spokesperson for Harry and Meghan who has confirmed that this will be happening, that the children, Archie and Lilibet, are going to be enrolled or have been enrolled in a UK school, which means they are likely to start the new term in the second week of September. So we're likely to see the family back here literally in the weeks ahead.
But do not buy their rubbish. Do not trust a word that they say. Indeed, there is increasing scepticism that Meghan Markle has no actual plans to be in the UK long term. Look at this from royal historian Alexander Lahman.
A royal historian. Alexander, thank you very much. Tremendous to see you. Do you think that this is Harry and Meghan moving back to Britain?
No, Patrick, I don't. I think this is Harry moving back to Britain. And I think that Meghan might be coming back to Britain for a while. And then I think that Harry might be staying here. And I think that Meghan might be going back to California.
Victoria Ward, who broke the exclusive which just so happened to be in two other publications for the Daily Telegraph, has become the chosen royal rota reporter for Harry and Meghan. She revealed that Harry had personally told her that the British public secretly adores Meghan.
Also, from Harry's perspective, because he views her so favourably and he loves her so much and he's so devoted to her, he'll probably be imagining that she might return as some kind of homecoming queen.
He does think that. He does think that. So he does genuinely think that. So all he's got to go on is his experience in recent years, right? And when he's come back, he's got this experience in Australia and the little tours that they've done, which always go pretty well on the ground. And then when he comes back to the UK on his own, he has said to me, and he says that people are always asking him about Meghan. Where is she? You know, how's your wife? But he thinks that the public actually will probably welcome her.
Oh, mate, you've got a rude awakening coming. We're polite, though, right? We're polite. We're not violent like the left. She'll be absolutely fine, but we don't want her here. Neither do her American brothers, though. Look at this. From the New York Post, our long national nightmare is over, they declared. And there's been a lot of this. Cat Turd writing, great, get the F out of our country. Grifters, two of the most least impressive, no talented people on planet Earth. We don't want you here, never wanted you here, see ya. And indeed, there is a real political aspect to this. MAGA supporters, without a doubt, absolutely cock-a-hoot. As I reported last night, the Heritage Foundation's ongoing desire to prove Prince Harry lied on his immigration documents about his drug use is likely to have played a key role in this forced deportation. And indeed, Benny Johnson, the pro-Donald Trump independent broadcaster, has even said this reversal of Megxit is probably the greatest ever deportation for President Trump.
Yeah. Trump was right. Trump rules out deporting Prince Harry. He's got enough problems with his wife. And now they're fleeing home. Tails tucked between their legs, humiliated, like a Brit should. It's the tradition, right? The British royals have to flee America, humiliated and embarrassed, and far worse off for the wear, and with a lot of debt and baggage. Some very angry women. Now, the reason why we know Harry was on drugs is because he married Meghan Markle. That's the thing we know. And now, in an exclusive interview, Meghan Markle has made it known that they are fleeing America. And they're doing it because of Trump. Well, the couple appeared to have an idyllic life in Montecito, California. They made no secret of their disillusionment with the current White House. The midterm elections, fast approaching, concerns about the direction of the U.S. loom large. Oh, they're moving back to Britain because they don't like President Trump. So another great deportation, another promise kept by the president that he will work on deporting Prince Harry. Meghan Markle gave the exclusive to People magazine. She just wants to be a celebrity.
But our patriotic personalities here in the UK are not accepting the return to sender approach, with Katie Hopkins losing it in a hilarious manner upon learning of the news this morning.
We're waking up to the brilliant news that Prince Harry, formerly known as Prince, is going to come back to the UK. Oh yes, with trailer trash Meghan Markle. Having failed spectacularly at everything they've ever tried to do in America, including start businesses, be quasi-royals and hand out soup in kitchens to Palestinian women and try to be celebrities, that failed. Having said that the royal family were racist and gone on Oprah and scooped up all the plaudits while they could, now, with their tail between their legs, they plan on coming back to the UK to use the only leverage they have left, which is that Harry used to be a royal. They're not even going to be working royals. They're just going to rock up and get free housing. I mean, seriously, they're basically illegals at this point. I mean, I would say as well, we're not bloody every, are we? We haven't put a postcode on them and said return to sender. If you can't find out where they belong, return them to us. We don't want them returned to us. Send them somewhere else. Send them bloody anywhere else. Send them to another godforsaken place that doesn't have a sense of humour, like Canada. Don't bring them back to Blighty.
Okay, yeah, it's fair to say we're not taking it as well. I mean, things aren't great, are they, in this country? As Meghan's Mike put it, stop the boats. That picture, we're broke, so we're back. Yeah, true. The leading Tory in London. So this is going political, by the way. The leading elected Tory in London, Susan Hall. She is Sadiq Khan's main rival, writing, I feel so sorry for William and Catherine. Piers Morgan arguing, the one nailed down certainty about the return of the Sussex circus clowns to Britain is that there will be endless drama, damaging leaks by them to the media about the royal family, and simultaneous hypocritical whining about privacy invasion by the same media. An ex-Sun editor, Kelvin Mackenzie, raging, Meghan will not be welcome here. I guarantee she and her pathetic husband will bring nothing but trouble. Kate and Charles still have their health issues and they don't need more stress. Perhaps this was the funniest of them all, though. So do you remember we all received that emergency alert the other day on our phones just because we're not meant to have barbecues outdoors? Well, The Spectator magazine has issued this emergency alert. This is an emergency alert from the UK government. There is a very high risk of Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, returning imminently to the UK. Residents, landowners and visitors should not undertake any activity that could cause either Harry or Meghan to appear on television, revive their Netflix deal, or launch another podcast. The consequences could be fatal. Do not engage in any discussions about privilege, mental health, or press intrusion near the couple. The consequences could be fatal. Follow official updates only to stay safe and sane. Subscribe to The Spectator. Do not be trolled. This alert will never ask you to transfer money, click suspicious links, or share your truth. Report any early Sussex sightings by calling the emergency services. Very good, very good. We get through this with humour. But on a serious note, how on earth has this been allowed to happen? Meghan Markle's biographer, Tom Bower, believes the decision is all about desperation over money. He says Markle knows she has no career left without Harry.
I think they're desperate. I think they're desperate because they run out of any hope of conquering Hollywood. They're isolated in America. I think the money is running down. And I think as well that Harry is terribly concerned that he could lose his titles. I think he's desperate about his status in Britain. And he's lonely in America. I think that he needs Britain because that is really his home. And he's been unable to shape any sort of career in California. And as far as Meghan is concerned, I've always thought she relies on him. There's no way that she can survive without him and his status. And she herself is humiliated by her failures. So it makes sense for them to come back to Britain. But whether the royal family really is going to welcome them, I must say I doubt.
Bower revealed Harry's disturbing plan is to use charities to worm his way back into royal life.
He wants status. Right. He wants a life worth living. And I think what he'll do is he'll inveigle himself into various charities here. He will find quite easily some charities who will be delighted to have him as their figurehead and as their guest. And he hopes that way, one way or another, he can worm his way back into the royal family. Of course, the big block is Prince William and Catherine, who under no circumstances, in my view, would allow these traitors, these lecturers, to get their way back into the royal family. I don't believe for a moment that Harry and Meghan will be on the Sandringham Christmas walk. It would be absolutely inconceivable. And I don't think the king would even allow them to do that because they're not working royals. I don't think they'll get any protection either. I think they're here because they're desperate and somehow it gives them a chance to rebuild their lives.
And veteran royal reporter Robert Jobson revealed here on Outspoken last night that King Charles is going to bring the couple back into the royal fold, he says, to regain some form of control.
Look, I think they've got a real problem now. The monarchy is going to be looking like a circus unless they can get hold of this.
But how do they get hold of it? The king seems to have just nodded this through.
They have to. They have to under this reign. They have to try to bring him inside the tent. Otherwise, it's out of control. And
but that's exactly what he wants.
Exactly, but that's exactly what they're going to probably have to do. And the problem otherwise is they've got no control. They have no control over what this couple do.
So once again, the pressure will, of course, be piled on a future King William to sort out his father's mess.
William is going to be in a dilemma, and William is going to have to take charge of this. The king, in my view, has probably let William down quite a lot. But what can he do? If they say as free people they're coming home and they're going to want their kids to be educated in England, there's probably not a lot he can do about it, actually.
And one of the biggest questions is about whether we are going to be forced to pay their security costs now that they are returning. I believe that is something we have to fight with every inch of our spirit. Because if the king relents, it could be over for the British monarchy. That is how important this decision is. Here's Tom Sykes.
I've been reporting for quite some time that Charles is very, very keen to welcome Harry back to the United Kingdom. I've been very clear that I personally think this is a mistake, but that's frankly neither here nor there, is it? You know, that's just my opinion. Who am I? Why do they bother about? Why should they bother about me? The point is that, you know, please boys, don't make my final years a misery, right? That translation is, I want you to shake hands, to knock your heads together and to get on and get over this. And I'm the king and I'm laying down the rules and those are what the rules are. Because this has been in court, right, multiple times about the security. So a lot of the documentation about why they don't have security is very far from being a state secret. It's all over this paperwork. And one of the main reasons that they don't have security is because they are not in the bracket of people who are protected. They are not in the cohort of people who are protected. And one of the factors that means they are not in that cohort is that they do not live in the United Kingdom. Now, if they live in the United Kingdom, they tick one of the boxes. And if Charles gives Harry a very minor role at a very minor charity, they are suddenly working royals again, and they will be entitled to security.
Indeed. And so there are serious questions for our Prime Minister Andy Burnham, who claimed today that the couple's security arrangements were a private matter.
And Harry moving back to the UK from California, is the government going to establish their security and pay for it?
Well, this is a private matter. It's a matter for Harry and for Meghan, and we wish them well in the move that they're making.
No, we don't. No, we don't. And it's not private. It's literally the definition of public. At the end of the day, though, this is all on Harry, who has managed to exploit a weak and cancer-stricken Charles and drive a wedge between the king and his heir and William.
But what Harry has very skillfully done is he's exploited Charles's love for him, and Charles does love Harry. He adores Harry, the darling boy. You know, he's exploited it, and he's driven a wedge between the king and the heir. And by peeling off and separating William and the king, he's now got himself into a situation where he's basically able to come home with the king's blessing.
What's fascinating about this story is even the Sussex squad and the small band of race baiters in the mainstream media still defending this gruesome twosome are finding it pretty much impossible to justify this decision. I mean, the ghastly leftist Don Lemon, you know, ex of CNN, was momentarily left speechless. And I mean, you never hear Don Lemon speechless, do you?
What? What is going on here? After all that consternation, all that stuff y'all put us through, the Oprah interview, all that, oh my God, what color is the baby going to be behind the ears in the royal family? Prince Harry and his wife Meghan and their children are moving back to Britain. That's what folks are saying. They're enrolling their kids. They repaired stuff. Look, I'm rooting for y'all. The interracial of it all, I get it. I'm rooting for y'all, but come on, make up y'all's mind. Good luck, whatever.
Oh, and by the way, another thing, I predicted that this would happen. Now, I thought that they may separate and then he would go back, but there's a twist. They're both going back now. That's going to be a little bit of drama. I want to know what Kate's going to say. Is it going to be kissy, kissy, huggy, hug, or shady McShade? The latter, I'm sure.
There's a lot the mainstream media are not telling you about this story. As I have been reporting for many years now, the marriage is in trouble. Harry knew he had to find a way to get the children back to the UK, with his wife even pitching a post-divorce autobiography to publishers. As Lawrence Fox suggested, I wonder if Harry is moving home because he senses the end is near, is thinking about a child arrangements battle, and doesn't want to grieve by himself in a lonely Californian mansion denied access to their children. Or perhaps I'm being cynical. No, Lawrence, you're not. You're completely right on that. But what's interesting is that the Sussex squad propagandists in the MSM, like Nina Mishkov of GB News, have tried to deflect from all of the focus on Harry and Meghan's marriage by pushing this lie that Catherine and Prince William are in trouble. Gosh, they're scummy people, aren't they? Watch.
You can see that they're in love. You can see them. You can just see by the body language when you see them together. They are still a couple in love. You look at Kate and William, it's a different story.
They are very much in love, the Prince and Princess of Wales. I can confirm that one.
And there was true madness being spread on GB News. Shame on GB News, by the way, as Nina Mishkov even suggested that Prince Harry should become King Henry IX.
No, they're not coming back as working royals, but I bet you after the Invictus Games, Harry will be. He is, I'm sure Cameron will confirm this. I've not seen him in person. I've never met him. But the way he handles the crowd, the ability, the affinity he has with people, that's like his mother. And he is a natural performer, unlike William, who is, in my eyes, kind of entitled and rather pompous. And I have said for a long time now that what I would like to see is Henry IX.
Right, you'd make him king.
I would.
Can you believe that? And just think for a moment about what she's suggesting. Nina Mishkov on GB News is suggesting that she wants to see Prince William killed, Prince George killed, Princess Charlotte killed, and Prince Louis killed. Because that's the only way you get a King Henry IX. That's sick. Truly sick. Reform UK's controversial new hire, Jamie McIver, this dude's bad news, bizarrely invited the couple to move to Essex. Trust me, Essex patriots can't stand them.
I feel a bit disappointed that he's thinking of going to the Cotswolds because he should totally move to Essex, and I'll make him an offer now to move to Ongar where I'm account. He should move to Ongar. We've got the oldest wooden church in the world, beautiful ancient high street, plenty of nice gaffs.
Hell no, keep them out of Essex, please. I mean, the Outer Hebrides is not far enough away for me. And by the way, you agree, we have been running a mega poll all day, 18,000 votes so far, but you can still vote on YouTube. The question, should King Charles block Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's return back to the UK and royal life? 78% of you saying yes, he is too soft. Just 22% saying no, there is nothing the king can do. Now, the superstar panel, social media sensations Lalani Dowding and Elizabeth Fox, joining us alongside Lauren, the insider. Today, the YouTube sensation. Lauren, you have a huge exclusive about King Charles. You claim that this reporting that Charles was only told about this imminent move back to the UK by Harry and Meghan on Sunday is untrue. What do you know?
I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. My 2-year-old wouldn't believe this. We are fed absolute lies by the entire palace machine. Let's go back as well to remember that Katie Nichols on Piers Morgan's Royals Uncensored, she was one of the palace mouthpieces that wanted us to believe that the last meeting that happened, no one knew about it. It was just Harry, Meghan and Charles. And then Charles called Camilla and said, quick, 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 come for a secret meeting. And so Camilla just popped in her car. It's absolutely ridiculous. Harry is on the royal website. He has claimed time and time again his security is at risk. He has said he was worried he would be assassinated, couldn't see a world in which his children could come back. And then miraculously, he's suddenly moving here. Harry and Meghan never left. If you actually go through forensically what they have done publicly and you look at the agendas, they're all globalist agendas, and Harry has, as well as Meghan, been echoing very clearly the Labour government stance when it comes to censorship. Now, people that watch the royal grift will be well aware of what's going on. And for anyone to say the king was blindsided, I mean, these fools need to engage their brain, because it's actually, we're all adults, we're all tax-paying adults. To be given narratives like this, it's offensive. I would hope they would give us more credit and come out with a different narrative. It's like an EastEnders storyline for dummies.
Lalani Dowding, can you understand why the king is allowing this?
You know, I do think there probably isn't much he can do aside from get them out of royal life. I mean, he probably can't stop them coming back from England. After all, Harry isn't a British citizen. But the fact that they're even doing it after, you know, I agree with John Lemon, which is kind of crazy that after, you know, calling the royal family racist, after the book, after all the private information they leaked out and their documentary and all this stuff that they did, I just cannot believe they want to just come back into it. I mean, he's right. He's absolutely right. And I also do find, I'm kind of with him as well, that I do think their marriage is on the rocks.
Big
and
time.
I don't think I can see her staying in the UK a long time, because we don't, you know, the British people don't really want her back. They're not going to, you know, do anything harmful to her, but I just don't think they're going to welcome her the way she will want to be welcomed and the way Harry probably expects her to be welcomed. And I think it's a very narcissistic relationship where he's completely and utterly under her thumb. And I just don't see it working out when she, you know, kind of wakes up and realizes nothing's going to have changed from, you know, since she left and before she left.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot worse, actually, because when you think she left, she hadn't actually accused the British royal family of being racist. She hadn't accused King Charles of being racist. She hadn't accused Catherine, the Princess of Wales, of being racist. Elizabeth Fox, we heard from your lovely hubby, in the digest there, a certain Mr. Lawrence Fox, suggesting, and I am totally with him, I don't think he has been cynical at all, because think about this for a second, Elizabeth. If they had remained in the United States, especially California, it would have been almost impossible in the event of a separation or divorce for Harry to retain custody of the children and for Harry to get the children back to the United Kingdom. So personally, I do believe that this is sort of the first stage in a separation.
Yeah, it would be extremely difficult for him if he were based there. Of course, he is from the UK. So I think it's actually a wise move if it is true. And it is happening. I think it's a wise move for Harry in respect of his parental position. But I just think that all of the attention seeking and interviews and documentaries that they've done to then turn around 6 years later and come back, it's ridiculous. It really is. It's like an attention seeking child, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. But of course, there is such a political dimension to this. Lauren, the Insider, I just want to show you this meme that Calvin Mackenzie has posted, an exclusive photo of Harry and Meghan. And look, they're on a small boat with the invaders. But of course, Lauren, there's such a serious side to this.
They'll be the first twits out there, won't they, saying, oh, stand up to racism. And, we've seen Harry as well previously work with Byline Times. They couldn't be more left, these two, if they tried. They are so deluded. But mark my words, and remember this, outspoken viewers, they are going to be used, as they have been already, but more so when they land, as soft power assets by the Labour government. This is what they have done the entire time.
100%. Because, Lauren, how on earth can the Prime Minister today just say, oh, this is a private matter? No, nothing about this is private. We already know that Harry wants to restart talks with King Charles to take on some type of official role. We already know that Harry is personally and directly and constantly lobbying the government in regards to his security. And the problem is, Lauren, that what he's going to say now is that there has been a fundamental change in that he's back in the UK. He's going to start performing the odd royal duty, he hopes. And as a result, he needs to be provided that security. As I have long reported, and I know you've done a lot of reporting on this too, Lauren, that security means all of a sudden he doesn't have to pay the $3 million a year that he's paying for private security in the United States of America. And it also means, Lauren, that he is protected wherever in the world he is. So if he wants to go on a little jolly to Nigeria or wherever it is, or Colombia, it's us mugs who are paying. So how on earth can that Prime Minister, that new Prime Minister, say, oh, it's just a private, we wish them well, it's just a private matter. No, nothing about this is private, Prime Minister.
Yeah. That's fine, Andy Burnham, because my wages are private and so is everyone else's. So we'll just deduct what we think it would cost, shall we, from our next tax bill. The problem when it comes to the security is it's purposefully vague, so we can't get clarity on it. I emailed the Home Office myself. I was given a word salad answer. They can't confirm nor deny. And so we have to also remember nothing that comes from the palace or Harry's side can be trusted. When we look at suddenly Harry's now coming back, the kids are being enrolled in school, he's got his security back. Or are the government going to tell us this on the record? No, they're not, because there will be absolute backlash with this. But if you look at forensically at the kind of digital footprints of everything that's happened, we've been played for fools the entire time. But again, when Harry has gone to Ukraine, oh, the king didn't know, the government didn't know. Oh, for goodness sake. You don't just pop over to war and, oh yeah, do you want the Guardian? Do you want to come? Yeah, right, all right. Everyone got your rucksack in case anyone shoots us. I mean, good grief, this is ridiculous, Dan. The government know, the palace know, and Harry is going to be rubbing people's faces in charity, philanthropy. So let me take this opportunity to remind anyone, if people truly care, they go and do it quietly. When people want attention and they want to rehabilitate their image, they get cameras there. Jeffrey Epstein, Sarah Ferguson, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. This is no different. Harry and Meghan have bullying accusations following them around. They are a total liability. And without the censorship crusade from the government and this philanthropy charity work, they've got nothing. She's got some manky old strawberries that she can't flog.
I know. And at the moment, you can't even buy these things in the UK. Oh, and she's going to set up a shop here, isn't
Dan,
she?
they did it last night. I thought I'll have my first early night in over a year. 9 o'clock, I was in bed. My mum said, go to bed. You're grotty and you're shattered. I said, OK. I woke up in the middle of the night to messages from you. I thought, this is a nightmare.
I know. I was messaging you. I was like, where is Lauren in this moment? I know. It was like waking up to a nightmare. There is a serious side to this, though, Lilani. We have to think about Prince William and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, and all of this, because they have tried, Lilani, and I have really backed them on this, to stick to a clear goal of exile, right? And they're actually using the benchmark of what happened to the king who abdicated and became the Duke of Windsor. Do you remember? Because of Wallace Simpson, who was also an American divorcee. And for decades, Lilani, the Queen Mother and the late Queen Elizabeth II kept them at arm's length. They were frozen out. And as a result, their power waned, their influence waned, and they sort of became a bit of an afterthought. And that's what William has been trying to do with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. But this plan, which seems to be being endorsed by the king, makes that a whole load more difficult. So what should William do? And then you've got the personal side too, Lilani. Like, think of everything that those two disgusting people said about, Harry was talking about, his private parts and like personal fights they had and revealing messages with Catherine. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I think the private stuff is more of a problem because at the end of the day, Harry is really irrelevant when it comes to the line of the throne. He's after Prince William. He's after Prince William's children. So he really doesn't stand a chance of, getting Harry. William is the rightful heir to the throne and then his children afterwards. So, no matter what Meghan Markle would love to believe in her head, he's right down the bottom of the list there. So there is absolutely no chance unless, so Nina Mishkov on GB News is just ridiculous. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Henry IX.
And as you said, the only way it can happen is if William's entire immediate family are killed. And that is the only way. So if I was William, I would still really be very angry with everything that Harry and Meghan exposed about him and Kate and his grandmother and his father. But Harry doesn't stand a chance of ever being king.
Elizabeth, the thing is as well, like the Sussex squad just are so dirty. They are such despicable people. Like, did you notice immediately, not only is Nina Mishkov pushing this idea of King Henry IX, she's also trying to say that Prince William and Catherine's marriage is troubled. Like, it's just so dark, the places that they are prepared to go.
I think it's really ridiculous when they start comparing the brothers as well. It's the obsession with Harry and Meghan, the attention seeking that they have done. We just don't feed it. And I think that the example we have from William and Kate, we don't have from Harry and Meghan. William and Kate try to stick to their roles, be professional, be private and upstanding and royals. That you look at them and you see royalty. I think with Harry and Meghan, they've gone down the trashy documentaries, reality TV. We're going to make it on our own. And now they're coming back, if they are coming back. And I just think that there's no comparison. There just isn't.
Lauren, where do you see this going now? I mean, Harry and Meghan are going to, if we believe them, are going to be here in a matter of days.
I mean, you thought the year couldn't get worse. At this point, I don't know whether I want another dinghy of Afghan migrants or Harry and Meghan. I mean, look, the way this is going to play out is you are going to have the mainstream media will have a field day. They're obsessed with playing Harry off against Prince William. They love the drama that comes with Harry and Meghan. The real problem we have is fundamentally we all want a royal family we can be proud of. That is what is important, not what makes the for-profit mainstream media industry the most money. But they are going to mount pressure on Prince William and Catherine. And it's absolutely disgusting because good news doesn't sell for the mainstream media. That's why you never see good news floating around there. It's very, very rare. And what we will see from Harry is all of a sudden he'll be like a rat up a drain pipe. Oh, any veterans? Yep, come on, let's have a picture. So he'll be getting all the veterans out. And then I'm sorry, this sounds harsh, but I still maintain I wish King Charles a speedy recovery, but they will be wheeling this cancer out like it's a branding board. That's just a fact. And then we're also going to see the whole Diana anniversary that's going to be used. There'll be a focus on the boys. They're not boys, are they? They're men, William and Harry, but they've only got one parent and they want to settle their differences. At this point, it wouldn't surprise me whether some of the leaks started to say it was a Christian thing to do, which is absolutely insane when we actually look at the monarchy, because Charles spends his life inside a mosque.
Yeah, and of course, this is the overall issue too. and, you know, we tackle it on this show. The mainstream media doesn't tackle it. Lauren tackles it on her channel. But Leilani, you know, there are deep concerns about this king for a whole load of reasons. And one of the reasons is because of his seeming decision to turn his back on being the defender of the faith, the head of the Church of England, and embracing Islam and Islamism. And that is, you know, that's just another concern, Leilani.
Yeah. It is. I mean, just look at how he opens up Windsor Castle for them to all come and pray and chant on the grounds there inside. And also, if you look at him and all his woke agenda that he's pushing, the climate change agenda and everything else that he pushes along. And I think a lot of people have lost faith in the monarchy already as it is. And all that Harry and Meghan will do in coming back is just create a load more drama, and people are honestly quite sick and tired of hearing about them and their family disputes and everything else. It's not, you know, it's not, well, I don't know, maybe that is what people want to hear, just a whole load of argument, but it destroys the monarchy, and it just, and people like me, people like Lizzie, people like Lauren and you, we're just sick and tired of them just bashing everything, bashing each other, and just creating all this drama, and then going out there seeking attention, saying they don't want it, but they're kind of on a privacy tour, and you know, they're just using whatever charity or cause they can jump ahead on, and it's usually a leftist wokist cause at that. So and also, how are they really that different from the boat migrants? When you see that meme, it's actually pretty funny. I mean, they're going to be sponging off the taxpayer, aren't they? They're going to be taking money from the taxpayer for their accommodation, for their security, and you know, I agree completely with all of you when you know, it is not a private matter when it's our money that's paying for it. It's just not a private matter. You know, if they want to come here, they want to pay for their security, which I find very doubtful, then you can say it's private, but it's not going to be that.
Indeed. And Lauren, the thing is, there are question marks, of course, about whether we can trust the king. And these question marks have gone on for a very long time. Well, let me just throw a couple of examples at you, Lauren. Like, Camilla is never going to be queen. Like, don't worry your little head about it, my subject. She's never going to be queen. I'd never do that to you. Camilla becomes queen. Oh, don't worry. Of course I'm going to be the defender of the faith. You know, I'm head of the Church of England. Of course I am. He's been king for a couple of years. All of a sudden, he's equally the defender of Islam. So this is the problem. I am a monarchist. I am a royalist. I don't come into this, Lauren, wanting to kick King Charles. But you know I'm always honest, and I have always reported the truth. I gave him a chance when he became king because I was very, very impressed. You know, in those early days after the death of Queen Elizabeth, and he gave a very striking address on national television, and we were all briefed that King Charles was going to stay out of politics, and he understood the responsibility and he wanted to continue the great work of his mother. But unfortunately, Lauren, a lot of the things that he has done over the course of his life have now become part of his reign, and I think just bringing Harry and Meghan back is an example that he doesn't really care too much about what his subjects think, and that's a really terrible thing. He is there to represent us.
Well, I think when you look into the evidence and actually get down to the facts are King Charles has always been political consistently, but like Harry, he has, I would argue, abused his position of soft power for personal gain, and we are the casualties in that, because there's no doubt about it. King Charles has been instrumental in the Islamic ideology becoming politicised and advancing at a rapid pace in the UK. I don't trust him. I feel that he has stolen my Christian daughters' futures from them unless something drastic happens. But he lies time and time again, and this is actually something that many people will say off camera, but if you're part of that royal talking head, you can't go and say it on camera. You'll never get access again. But he has constantly lied to people, particularly if we look at Defender of the Faith. Going back to 1994, he was kicking up a fuss about saying it, and then lo and behold, in the sovereign grant, it's Defender of Faith in a multi-faith, no one gives a shit state, whatever. And I swear, because it's so infuriating, because that was the last piece of protection we had. We are now looking at a constitutional Christian country being broken down, and it's being broken down in front of us, and half the country are totally asleep to it, and they think, oh, it's just wording in the sovereign grant, it doesn't matter. But this is what Charles does time and time again. He chips away at things to fit his own ideologies that he wants to implement.
This video is for news reporting, commentary, and educational purposes. The views expressed are based on publicly available information and personal analysis. We strive for accuracy but encourage viewers to verify information through official sources.